Good evening. We are live at 5 tonight with something that is destroying an increasing number of upstate families. They are overdose deaths, mainly due to heroin addiction, up more than 20% in the largest upstate counties just since last year.
It's staggering numbers. I sat down today with a woman whose fiance died from a heroin overdose just last month. Tragic. To talk about her mission to bring awareness to drug addiction and how her story might help save a life.
He was just so full of life and so funny, and I was just immediately drawn to him.
A chance Greenville meeting would bring Miranda Gilbert and Zachary Wink together in September 2014. The pair became inseparable and were engaged a year later.
Around that time, I started noticing differences. I didn't really understand what it was, but the way he acted, sometimes the way he looked.
A few months after their engagement, Zachary overdosed on what he told Miranda was just pills.
So I told him that if he didn't get help, that I would call off the wedding.
During Zach's graduation from a 10-week rehab course, Zach was required to give his testimony.
He actually admitted for the first time that it was heroin, and I had no idea. I mean, I've never been around it at all. You know, I'd never seen him do anything. So I didn't even know the signs to look for.
Things were good, Miranda says, for a while, but Zach would overdose 2 more times until a Saturday in November when heroin would end his life.
I just kind of feared this for a while now.
Now Miranda is on a new mission to raise awareness about a drug that shattered her picture of forever. January 8th, she'll host a community prayer vigil at Spartanburg's Cleveland Park to remember those who've lost the battle with addiction, but also point out an increasingly ugly truth.
You probably know someone who's struggling with this and you don't even know it.
You would be surprised, probably 4 out of 10 people in your life are addicted.
Says Deb Hollyfield with Carolina Treatment Center.
The increase in overdose deaths, it's going to happen. It's going to continue to rise.
Unless, she says, people get smart and lawmakers act. She'd like to see drugs like Narcan, a powerful overdose reversal drug, in the hands of recovering addicts and law enforcement agencies in the state.
My goal would be to be out of a job. I would love that. I would love to make it so that I wouldn't have to ever treat another addict again.
For Gilbert, she wants people, especially children, to see clearly what addiction can do.
It's easier to stay away than it is easier to quit when you've already started.
She's very strong. Now, Miranda pointed out something, and so did Ms. Hollyfield, that heroin users aren't just people that are on the streets. People that have nothing is what
The thing you would picture in your mind's eye,
right? That stereotypical. These are people that are obviously people we know every day. Users can be anyone. They can function for a while, but ultimately they say that this is a killer, and it is.
I have to ask you about something. Miranda is the woman's name in your
Yes.
story. She said that her fiance said it was just pills and then admitted. A lot of it starts that way. It starts with something somebody got from their doctor, whether it's a Loratab or some other drug, and then when they lose access to that, that's when they turn to the heroin illegally, right?
And that's what Deb was saying, that the DEA and when they started cracking down on pill mills, that's when people started turning to heroin, and that's why we're seeing it become more of an epidemic.
It's so scary,
It's tragic.
isn't it? Greenville